I come to you for a couple of reasons. Some might say, why is there a Hendersonville County Commissioner here? I hope what I'm conveying more than anything is this is a county-wide no. But now I can't speak for all my county commission colleagues. I'm going to let them speak for themselves, especially those in Hendersonville. But I come to you for two main reasons. Number one, I used to be on planning. And the 2035 plan that has been referred to so many times, I am so honored to be here in front of you tonight to tell you that I was the county commissioner that brought that forward, that brought that to the floor in September 2010, and it passed. And if I'm not mistaken, it was either unanimous or like 99%. It is crystal clear that we have heard, and I'm no attorney, but it is crystal clear that we have heard from the attorneys, and I can tell you as a county commissioner that brought that forward, that this commission passed, what our intent was. And our intent was to protect the historic sites, and it very specifically points out Castalian Springs. Secondly, I am also the current chairman and have been for 6 years of what we call our Public Service Committee. It used to be known as Public Works Committee. We have worked very diligently with the county executive and Commissioner Graves, Commissioner Akins, and many others for over 6 years on an extremely difficult water plan that is trying to get water in parts of this county that do not have water. These people in the red, so to speak, and specifically parts of this county are on wells in a lot of cases. I haven't heard a lot of people refer to what they're going to be doing to the people that are on wells. We've heard a lot about historic sites. I'm so honored to be completely a Tennessean now, which I've been for 21 years, but I come from southern West Virginia. And those of you that don't know what southern West Virginia is, that's coal mine country. It's strip mining country. The other part of a comedy act I heard a little while ago is about mines and stuff, how it doesn't hurt. You don't blow real estate away and blow tops off mountains without it having a devastating effect. And it would be the wrong thing to do. I could go on and on and on, and for the sake of time, I don't want to go forward. I just want to say this because, well, let me you know, I'm also on the board of Rock Castle. Rock Castle, as you know, is another historic site that wasn't mentioned here in Sumner County. Sumner County has as many historic sites as almost any county, specifically any county in Tennessee. Daniel Smith, the home of Daniel Smith, he was a surveyor, as you well know. He was the one that drew the lines of Tennessee. I doubt as a surveyor he would have liked this. It was Daniel Smith, and I can't speak for him since he died in 1863, but I think I know it was Daniel Smith and Daniel Boone and all those that once they came through the Cumberland Gap, they came right through this area around Bledsoe, where our only state park is your neighbor, on their way to Mansker Fort. There are all kinds of reasons for you to deny this and to do the right thing. I'll close with this, that some of the comments have made me really think of. You guys, if you can figure out how to control Mother Nature, you're going to be pretty tough. But I don't think you can. These people went through a living hell, okay? This whole county went through a living hell with these tornadoes. But we have rebuilt. Now, people still have not rebuilt their lives because of the ones that were lost. But we can rebuild certain things. We cannot rebuild destroying what this rock quarry, this asphalt, and everything else will do. So do not put these people through a living hell, and please deny it.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Walter Durham. I'm the state historian for Tennessee. Born in Sumner County and lived here 86 years and expect to live another 100 or so. The concentration of historic landmarks at Castalian Springs is a remarkable reminder of many different stages in American history from the 15th century to World War II. The earliest landmark is a temple mound used for religious observances by the surrounding Indian village Cheskiki. These Indians were of the Mississippian culture, noted for mound building and stone box burials. They unaccountably disappeared from the scene about 1700. Known as Bledsoe's Lick from its discovery in 1772 by explorer Isaac Bledsoe, the site was later renamed Castalian Springs. The new name was taken from the Castalian Springs on Mount Parnassus in Greece. Today, Bledsoe's Fort Park includes the site of Isaac's Fort, first occupied in 1784. His brother Anthony built the Greenfield Fort nearby. Indian resistance could be brutal. Young William Hull, later a major general of militia, a congressman, and governor of Tennessee, saw his father and older brother killed by Indians in ambush at Castalian Springs. Bloody raids there were not concluded until 1795. The 1790s brick house of William Bearden was sold later to the parents of William Brimage Bate. He was born there in 1826. During the Civil War, he became a Confederate major general. In 1882, he was elected governor of the state and afterwards a Tennessee United States Senator. The Bate home, Hawthorne Hill, was also the birthplace of Eugenia Bate, who became an Italian countess in 1864 when she married Count Giuseppe Bertinati, then the Italian minister to the United States. There were yet other notable births in the Bate home. Dr. Humphrey Bate was born there, as was his daughter Alcyone. With his string band, the Possum Hunters, Dr. Bate played on the first radio broadcast of WSM's Grand Ole Opry. Soon afterward, Alcyone became the first woman to sing on the Opry. Wynwood, built in 1828, is the largest log house still standing in Tennessee. When it was slow to reach its potential as an inn for travelers, Alfred Wynn, on whose property it stood, converted it into a home for his family. Their sons fought in both the Mexican War and the Civil War. In 1863, a Union Army fort was located at the rear of their property. Starting in 1798, General Winchester built Cragfont for his family home. Architecturally, it is one of the grandest houses of the Old Southwest period. Winchester had served in the American Revolution, was a brigadier general in the War of 1812. He planned the development of the city of Memphis. His son Marcus became the first mayor of Memphis. On Rock Spring Road, the pioneer Francis Wethered built his Federal-style brick house that today is intact. Nearby is a brick residence constructed for Governor Bate after the war. In Bledsoe's Fort Park are 3 relocated houses of historical importance. The stone cottage of the 1790s was erected by Hugh Rogan, who had come to the area in 1779. The other 2 houses are made of logs, the older built by frontiersman Nathaniel Parker. The other was the birthplace of Hugh Lawson Hunley, Confederate inventor and builder of the first submarine to sink an enemy ship in combat. In 1943, during World War II, training maneuvers of the United States Second Army ranged through Castalian Springs. Other than broken fences and gates, the Army left no landmarks. In a single community, Castalian Springs has a mixed concentration of American history unmatched in Tennessee and unexcelled throughout the country. Mr. White, I think your company can find another place for a rock quarry, but you can't find another Castalian Springs.
I'm a county commissioner for District 5 and have the dubious task of following my friend Walter Durham. I'm an 8th generation Sumner Countyan. I'm former president of the Historical Society. I am also an educator. I have brought students to tour Cragfont and Wynwood and other historical sites out in Castalian Springs. I've also brought students to participate in the archaeological digs that they had out at Bledsoe when it first began. This area is unmatched for historical value. I also want to say that I'm very much a free market supporter. I believe that people have a right to do things with their own property. However, in this case, I don't believe a rock quarry is consistent with what is necessary for this area. I don't believe it's consistent with the 2035 plan. I don't think it'll be safe for this community. I remember years ago, there have been I've seen lots of accidents near the other rock quarry. Just because it's a state road doesn't mean it's safe. We've got lots of state roads in this county that have lots of accidents, and a bunch of them were around the other rock quarry. There are other places in this county where a rock quarry could have been located and much safer. Part of the issue that I see is the location at Castalian Springs is so far away from where they're going to use the rocks in the rock quarry. They've got to transport it to places where a lot of building is taking place, or where roads are being built, or where convention centers are being built. They're not going to be transporting it to Castalian Springs. It's going to be going through Gallatin, which they just renovated the square and try to take a left turn onto 109 and get on the square in Gallatin. Good luck. They'll be going through Lebanon, they'll be going through Hartsville, they'll be going through a lot of the small towns in this area. It's not a conducive place for a rock quarry, and I would urge the Board of Zoning Appeals to oppose this. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Mike McDonald, State Representative for House District 44, which includes Castalian Springs. After the tornado hit in 2008, we worked very, very hard with Martha Akins and others, with Patrick McIntyre, with the State Historical Commission, to make sure we got the money to restore Wynwood. That is a fragile, extremely important historical site. We do not need a rock quarry to jeopardize Wynwood, Hawthorne Hill, Cragfont, or any of our treasures in Castalian Springs. I want to be as clear as I can and as loud as I can. I oppose this rock quarry, and I will do anything that I possibly can to make sure that it does not happen. During my years of service to this state, I have seen private benefit trump the public good. That is misfortunate. We cannot let that happen in Sumner County. We have got to do what is best for the public here. We've got to keep in mind the public good, the long-term benefit of our historic sites and the treasure that we have in Castalian Springs. I respectfully and sincerely ask the board to turn down this request for the rock quarry in Castalian Springs. Thank you very much.